Tosses fair all the way to center. Aho will pick up the pace a little bit now. Sebastian Aho, 24 points this year, and a breakaway for Mark Scheifele. Scores! Goals and 2 straight for Scheifele. This game is tied at 1.
Well, it was tied at 1 for a little bit.
And that was good as it got.
It's no surprise. Mark Scheifele with the goal again for the Winnipeg Jets. Unfortunately, though, as you mentioned, as good as it got, Winnipeg Jets falling last night 5-1 to the Carolina Hurricanes. I am Sara Lusky. He is Jamie Thomas. The good news is that they have a chance for redemption today and to put this 4-game slide to rest. They are in Nashville, the second game of the back-to-back.
James Robinson, one for my mental.
Yes.
So many places to go.
Well, let's start with, we're going to get you ready for tonight's game against Nashville shortly. Paul Edmonds is going to join us, so we'll find out.
He's going to put a positive spin on this.
You know what? At the very least, we're going to find out if he's having soup today.
Yes.
What type of soup
is
today? You know, we talked with yesterday when we were talking with Mike, we were talking about different analogies using 90s television shows or 80s movies.
Correct.
Whatever it might be. Maybe with Paulie, we need him to sum up how things are going based on soup.
Right.
How would you describe this right now?
Oh, I think Paul will do well with that one.
I think he might as well. And then Lyndsay Rowley is going to join us too. Looking forward to that. She covers the Nashville Predators. They are also struggling. Obviously, this season has not gone well for them. There's a lot of trade rumors going on with them as well. So they also played last night. They were in Chicago, had to fly home afterwards. They did get the win, though, in Chicago. So 2 points there for them. All of that and more.
Well, usually, because of the schedule is, usually like with Winnipeg playing yesterday and then playing Nashville, ordinarily the home team would be sitting there waiting. But because the schedule is so compressed, fortunately, Nashville played last night, as you said, as well.
And on the road and had to fly in. So let's take a look back at last night's game. But first, why don't we hear the reaction of head coach Scott Arniel?
Well, didn't start very good. First period, we had a lot of guys that forgot to show up. Start of the game. That first period, got the kid in net, and we take two sloppy penalties, but we get stuck in there a few times. Lost a lot of battles. There's some structure stuff that we got away from, and the kid made some big stops, kept us in that one, and obviously allowed us a chance. Better in the second, a lot better in the second. Came out in the third, doing the right things, and then it was too quick back. What is it, 8-minute mark? Back-to-back plays, and their coverage plays. And both those plays came right down. One went off. One went off one of our defensemen. The other one, those are coming right down Grand Central. So that's on us. That's on. Feel for the kid because he was giving us a chance.
What else can you really say there?
Sums it up.
So you did some research on this one in terms of minutes played. So this is we talked about and have talked about over and over again the need for secondary scoring. So it wasn't there again yesterday. So what are the minutes you said in terms of the forwards we looked at?
For the game last night?
Yeah.
So Scheifele, 21 minutes. Kyle Connor leading the way, 21-31.
Yeah.
Velarde, 18 minutes, 5 seconds. And then after that, Nino Niederreiter was the next closest at 15 change. Iafallo was just under 15, but everybody else pretty much in that 10 to 12 range.
So what is that telling you? There's not much.
No.
Not much going on.
They managed 13 shots.
So I was talking to Mike Maniscalco outside the 2 times we talked, and he said Carolina doesn't give up a lot, but when they do give up opportunities, they are like grade A scoring chances. So there was a lot of those.
Yeah.
Kyle Connor had a breakaway. You saw Scheifele scoring the breakaway. Cole Perfetti had a breakaway. He was wide open the side of the net. Another chance. There was some pretty good scoring chances.
But there were
13 shots.
13 shots. It's just not enough. Look, we know that this is a team that can score. You look at the difference in it. It's just remarkable to me how things have gone over it. The first 12 games of the season, they were leading the league in terms of goals per games played. It was around 3.75.
Yeah.
Since that time, 13 through 23 for them.
Yeah.
They are last in the league over that stretch.
So 7 goals in the last 4.
1.72. Like, it's just, they have been completely snake bitten. You mentioned that there were some opportunities, though, even though it was only 13 shots, Cole Perfetti had one of them.
The goal came at 16:06. An opening. Perfetti, the defenseman fell. He's alone, and he's stopped by the stick of Bussy.
It sums it up. for me, that even when the opportunities are there right now, it's remarkable to me how long it has been since we've seen anybody score that is not on that top line.
Yeah.
Or really, I mean, Josh Morrissey.
And Neil Pionk and Logan Stanley. So you got 3 goals from the defense. Adam Lauer is the last guy outside of the top line to score in terms of forwards. That was the first goal against Columbus, as you were so kind to point out to me. So that's forever ago now.
It is. Yeah. So it's unfortunate the way they're in a bit of a pickle right now.
Yeah.
So, we see some of the comments that are in there right now. I actually was wondering about the soup comment from James Robinson, turkey and veggie soup. So is that showing that things aren't going well?
Right.
Or is it how you're feeling going into today's game, like a positive thing? So let us know. Let us know which one, James, that is for you. Because kind of turkey and veggie sounds.
See, Phyllis has got a good point to 1-1 with 9 minutes left in the third period. How do you not close that off or get to overtime at least?
Well, and then you give up 4 goals in the third period, and you only have 3 shots.
Yeah,
I'm a big believer in it. Fine if you want to go quality over quantity in terms of shots, but 13 is just not enough. It was their worst statistical game of the season in terms of shots, goal differential, shot differential as well. But today is a new day.
It's a new day.
You know what? There was some positives last night. Thomas Milic made his NHL debut. He stopped 30 of 34 shots. And I liked what I saw from him.
I did too. Especially you always, as a goaltender, and this is what I've heard because I never played the position, is that you want some shots early. And there was a lot of shots early. Like you heard Arnie talk about how they started slow, but Thomas Milic, to his credit, was ready for it. He looked calm and composed, took that penalty in the second period, covering up the puck outside the crease. I mean, it wasn't his fault. Got knocked out of the crease by Colin Miller, who was racing back to break up a 2-on-1. But outside of that, I mean, there's not much else you can really say. He looked everything that he has shown since he became a member of the Jets organization, so they drafted him in 2023. So let's hear from Thomas Milic and others about his performance.
Yeah, no, it's always nice having a save early, especially the first actual save that I made. It was nice to get a good clean look and, get a whistle from it. So I think that set the tone for most of the rest of the game.
NHL debuts are never easy, but you get kind of thrown into one of the toughest buildings against one of the best teams. So how long ahead of time did you know you were going to play? And kind of what was the mental process like?
I think 2 nights ago after the Washington game, I found out, and it was pretty cool being able to tell my parents that and have them come in. But from there I've been prepared for since I've been called up. I knew there was a time was going to come when I'd have to get in there, and I did my best to be ready.
It looked like you were tracking the puck really well. A lot of saves where it's almost like you anticipated what was going to happen before it happened. Is that maybe a big part of your game, just that puck tracking?
Absolutely. I think that's a big part of my game, being able to be a good skater, and then once I get to my spots, being able to track the puck well, and like you said, anticipate plays before they happen, because guys are so good at making that extra pass. So if you can anticipate that, it's huge.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he played great. He made some huge saves. The one on the power play in the second comes to mind. Amongst many others. Obviously, this is a team that, as a goalie, you're going to get a lot of action, and maybe that's a good thing in some capacities to stay in it. But would have liked to give him a better result. I felt like the way he played deserved a better result, and disappointed for him. But he can hold his head really high. He played a very, very good game, and gave us a chance to win, and that's all you can ask from your goalie.
Okay. Thomas Milic gets his first NHL start. Last Monson almost had his first NHL goal, rang it off the post when he was playing with Josh Morrissey yesterday. So I liked what I saw from those two. But the only thing we can sum this up with is soup. Soup is going to wrap this all up nicely.
Okay.
So if there's any of it, it's the commissioner of soup, Paul Edmonds, joining us.
The CEO of soup.
The CEO of soup. So this was my question, and I put it out to the viewers. So obviously things have not been going well for the Jets of late. They have lost 4 consecutive games. Last night, a number of areas that they struggled in. How would you sum it up in terms of soup? This 4-game streak.
Yeah.
What is is this, I don't know, a soup you don't like. So is this cream of mushroom? Does that sum it up? Is it, how would you? Would you describe this current stretch?
Okay, it's brothy. It needs more thickness to it. Okay, so you can start by adding maybe a few more vegetables, some protein, whatever your choice is, whether that be chicken or a beef. If you wanted to sort of make a seafood soup as well, you could do that as well. So I'm not discriminating on your protein or your choice. And then of course salt and pepper to taste, right?
Yes.
So
bland right now.
that's where we are. So that's what I would start. So you've got the broth, and it's just not very thick, and there's just not a whole lot to it right now, and you need to add on some ingredients. Look, everybody's frustrated with what they've seen, and certainly the team and how they're playing. It's interesting because this is strange territory for this group.
Yeah.
Certainly in the last handful of years, I think ever since Rick Bowness came in. So let's call it 4 years ago, that they haven't had too many of these. I mean, the last losing month that they had goes back to March of 2024, and they only lost that month by one game. And here they are, 3 or 4 games under 500 in the month of November, with an opportunity to close that gap today. So not uncharted territory for the foundation of this group, but a strange place indeed where they haven't been for a long time. So you're having to draw back in the memory banks pretty deep to go and find that experience on how to pull your way out of this. So it's interesting because, they weren't great in the first period, and Scott Arniel said as much, post-game commentary as well, and he was rather blunt. But they had to kill 2 penalties, and from my standpoint, they're down 1-0 after one, and they're okay from that standpoint because they're in a raucous building, a tough place to play. They killed off 4 minutes of penalties. There's always some residual around that on the momentum that the team has. The power play has maybe an extra minute after that with the momentum until you quell all of that. You get to the second period, and Mark Scheifele scores again, and you're 1-1 after 2 periods, and with about 8 minutes left, you're in a pretty good spot. And then there was just some breakdowns, and that's what's happened repeatedly with this team over the last 4 games that they've lost specifically, and certainly over the last 10 games. It just seems there's a stretch where they just aren't as consistent. There's some breakdowns, and as a result, when you are struggling, when you are scuffling, teams will take advantage and usually do at those times. But Jamie, I heard you talk about Elias Salamonson.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid hits a post. There's a shorthanded breakaway by Kyle Connor. There's a breakaway where the defenseman fell down for Cole Perfetti.
Yes.
I mean, all of these opportunities that if you cash in on that, you're looking at not only coming back from a 1-0 deficit, but you've taken the lead and maybe added on. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, I understand that. But those are things that happened in the game that didn't go Winnipeg's way. I certainly would be more concerned, and I know that I've taken this answer out for a dinner, really, and a movie, quite frankly. But those are things that if you weren't getting those opportunities, if you weren't creating those chances, I'd be much more concerned, because then you're not generating anything. And I do see the fact that they are generating some offense. They just haven't got a lot to go.
Yeah, Scott Arniel has tinkered with his lines. He's stayed with him the last 2 games. You expect him to kind of do the same thing again today, where you're just like, you can't just keep breaking them up, trying to find something, rather than isn't consistency more important than trying to find that right mix during this slump?
Yeah, I think that if a coaching staff wasn't mixing and matching, they wouldn't be doing their jobs, right? You are entrusted, and your responsibility is to try to find that elixir, that cure-all serum, if you will, to get your team up and running and moving. And I would expect the mixing and matching will go on. And this question was posed yesterday, certainly on our broadcast, and that is, do you break up the first line? And I said, no, you don't. I mean, right now, that's the line that's going. That's the line that's keeping you in games offensively at this point. And they did again yesterday. So I'm not breaking that. I'm not touching that line up with Gabe Vilardi, Mark Scheifele, and Kyle Connor. But I do expect that you're going to see some mixing and matching, certainly as it continues into this game against Nashville. And I wouldn't be surprised if Cole Koepke factored back in. I mean, he can skate, and he's physical. He leads the team in hits, and he's had a bit of a tough time getting back into the lineup since he's come off of injury. But it's just about time that you maybe bring him back in. So I don't know this for a fact, but I would look for Cole Koepke to come back in, and then maybe slot him in somewhere in that bottom 6 as well. So from that standpoint, I think you're going to see some changes. It's also back-to-back. You want to make sure that you do have that freshness. And the Jets are also in the midst of 7 games in 11 days. So working in all of your bench strength or your press box strength, I think, is vital at this point, because you want to make sure that you are as fresh and ready to go for every game. Because right now, there are 2 winnable games here in the next 2 games. You're not looking past Nashville today, but you can beat this team. You proved that already. And then you're going in to see another scuffling team on Monday in Buffalo. So who knows if you can get a couple of points today, what might turn around if you can grab a few more as you get back out to the Eastern Conference after this one today.
Yeah, I feel as if sometimes, especially when you look at players that are snake bitten, that sometimes all it takes is that one goal. I mean, we used to talk about that with the power play, but as soon as that power play kind of gets that good feeling back, that one goal, maybe you'll see a lot more start to a lot more success with it. And so maybe that's the way that it'll be, hopefully, with this group of forwards up front as well. Paul, Nashville played last night in Chicago. They had to fly home too. So, I mean, when you talked about even just trying to fresh legs, I mean, both these teams in back-to-back scenarios, what is it that you're going to be watching for from this Jets team, especially early on?
Great question, Sarah, from the standpoint that, of course, Winnipeg was pitted in here and settled in before that game was even concluded between Chicago and Nashville. So a little bit more of the stress test on Nashville getting back later. I think with no morning skate for either team, we don't know lineups, won't know lineups probably until just before maybe warm-up, and the warm-up skate coming up at 5:30 Central. I look for this almost to play out like a matinee, and that would be which is the team that gets up and running first. And so if you start on time and you get up and running, I think you're going to have a distinct advantage to try to win this hockey game. For Winnipeg as well, on that side, to be more specific, you've got to find your way to the first goal. I mean, you've given up the first goal in 4 straight, and what is the record in those last 4 games? You're 0-4. So I think you can voice some confidence by scoring first, get up and running, as I said, on time, and then see if you can fill in a few more pieces from there to add on. So it will be the team that gets rolling in that first period in the first 10 minutes. Now, that's the other part of this too, is this used to be a place where you were just trying to hang on for the first TV broadcast timeout through the first 7 minutes. And if you could, then things settled in, because it was a raucous environment, still is. Now, the last couple of years haven't gone the way that Nashville wants. So I wonder if that will be reflective in the way the crowd is, certainly. But, if you're Winnipeg, settle into something real quick, get the first goal, hush everybody up, and then add on from there. I think you're going to have an advantage.
All right, buddy. Thanks so much for doing this. Have some great soup,
pleasure.
And enjoy the broadcast tonight and have a good call.
Yeah, and I would accompany the soup, whatever type of soup, more of a brothy soup with some sort of a dinner roll and some butter. That always goes really well as well.
Okay, if they win tonight, Paul, let's say they play well, they get the
soup for everybody.
Soup for everybody. What soup are you giving everybody? You'd be like Oprah. Soup for you. Soup for you. Soup for everybody.
Yeah. Well, so I have to admit on the soup. Yesterday I went and had the chicken noodle.
Yeah.
And the team didn't win. So I'm probably going to go down for a bowl of soup now, and I'm going to have the beef barley. So if they win, beef barley for everybody.
There we go. I like it.
Thank you. Enjoy, buddy.
Yep. See ya. Thanks.
See you later.
Bye, Polly.
Paul Edmonds joining us.
Love Paul.
Now I'm hungry.
So am I. I actually thought about that before the show even started.
That's what I loved about traveling, is like there's so much food.
There is, yeah.
The fact that we have all these options to go down there and eat is the best.
For it.
Yeah.
As Paul mentioned, I mean, things obviously not going well in November. 4-8 is the record for the Jets, 8 points. Hopefully, obviously, the win tonight, but this is potentially their worst record in November since 2015-16. So I know that said that the success they had early on, that Scott O'Neill had spoken about how, when you looked at the underlying metrics and you looked at the overall game, it wasn't going to be sustainable. I just don't think that we anticipated, even though, yes, it's not the same team as what we saw last year. Mm-hmm. They don't have the same speed. We knew that going in. They did lean more on the veteran experience. I just didn't anticipate maybe
not scoring
to the same extent that we've seen. It's one thing for one or two players to go through the scoring drought, but not to see everybody. So hopefully they're able to break out of that today.
Well, I think you can, like Nashville, I think has the same issue. Nashville has they brought a lot of veterans, a lot of veteran free agents last year. You bring in Marchessault, who's won a Stanley Cup. Steven Stamkos has won Stanley Cups. You got Ryan O'Reilly there. You have a lot of veteran presence there, and it just hasn't worked out. And Barry Trotz was very, clear about he was not firing the coach.
Yeah,
he was not going to fire Andrew Burnett, and it's on the players. When he was speaking with the Nashville media the other day. So that part, we're going to ask Lyndsay Rowley about that here momentarily.
They need a concert to be canceled.
Right. And he even brought that up as well. So
maybe that's what the Jets need.
I was just going to say, do you have to cancel a concert?
Is there a team concert that they were all planning on going to that they would be able to?
There's something they could take away.
That's right.
That's what you like with your kids. You have to have leverage.
Do you have to as adults as well? Steven Stamkos 1 point away from 1,200.
He'll get that.
He's had a lot of success in his career against the Jets. Only active players with more points that are above 1,200 right now.
Right.
Crosby, Ovechkin, Malkin, Patrick Kane, and Anze Kopitar. So something to keep an eye on for with one of those. The standings right now. Fortunately, the Jets now 8 points back of Minnesota, who sit third in the Central Division, currently 3 points back of Utah, who have 27 points. San Jose's ahead of them. Chicago right now based on points, or Edmonton right now based on points. But you and I have discussed before, I don't know how people watching feel that Pierre LeBrun always talked about how early on in the season, you need to go by points percentage. It's more reflective than just points because of the difference in games. Sometimes we see teams that have played 3 more games. So it's not as accurate perhaps as point percentages.
Yeah.
But right now the Jets still outside, obviously, that playoff picture with a couple of teams that they need to jump in order to get back into a wild card spot.
So another thing with kids, you always have to get them to pull away from the jumping off the bridge because everything's a disaster. Like my daughter's like, Jets suck, Dad. I'm like, no, it's game 23. There's 59 more to go. So let's stop here.
Yeah.
Let's bring some positive. And someone who's very positive, Lyndsay Rowley. Has been covering the Nashville Predators for a very long time. And Lyndsay, last year, when you look back at what happened in with the Predators, how have you brought the positive to the broadcast every game when things are going as tough as they are for the last year and a little bit?
That's a great question. It's not easy. You guys know as well, when the team's not playing well, it's difficult. And last year I've been so fortunate. This is my 11th season. And last year was the first season where we really weren't battling for a playoff spot come March and April. So it's difficult because you do get a lot of the negative from social media and people who see you at the arena, and you just kind of got to keep having faith that things are going to have a turn. Next year's going to be better. There's going to be a good summer, things like that. So but it can be a huge challenge to try and stay positive.
I think, as you mentioned, Jamie and I both having been part of broadcasts before, and the broadcast teams, but yes, when you're trying to find that silver lining, at least it's still early on in the season.
Yeah.
When you're trying to find it in March and trying to convince everybody that it's still
It's
time
gonna be okay.
That's right. It's all going to be okay.
If they win 20 of their last 21 games, they're going to make the playoffs.
Exactly. So close.
Lyndsay, I think that people were hoping, obviously last year caught a lot of people by surprise with the results of the Predators. Everyone had thought that given the offseason that they had that it was going to be this superpower in the Central Division. Didn't turn out that way. Struggles again, obviously, this season so far. What's been the biggest issue for the Preds up to this point in the season?
I think finish. I think majority of our games that we've lost, or the Predators have lost, they have outchanced, they've outshot teams. You can say, oh, we're just looking for a bounce here or there. But speaking with head coach Andrew Burnett during those times and after those games, it comes down to the guys and finishing. And, at some point, someone's got to go bar down and finish one and put one in the net. So I think recently things are starting to shift a little bit. They've won 2 in a row in Detroit. Nick Blankenberg, I interviewed him after the game, and he said Ryan O'Reilly before the game addressed the team and kind of, gave everybody, I guess you could say, a pep talk, or who knows, maybe he ripped him. I have no idea. I don't see O'Reilly doing that. But he said he addressed the team, and everybody came out really confident and great. And the great thing about Ryan O'Reilly is that he can back it up, and he did. He's played great the last 2 games. He can address the team and tell everybody to focus up and then back it up with his play, and he certainly has. So the last 2 games, we've seen a little bit of a different Nashville Predators team. The name of the game has been consistency with this team. They'll have a fantastic game, and then they'll come out and look like a completely different squad. So it'll be interesting tonight. I think they've looked good for 2 in a row. Can they put 3 together against a rival and a really talented team?
GM Barry Trotz was on, speaking to the media in Tennessee the other day, and he just talked about how he was not going to fire Andrew Burnett. It was on the players. Did that message sink through to the players, and was that a surprise how he backed up Burnett so much?
No, I don't think so. We have, and not that I think a lot of hockey players are great at taking ownership for, if they have had a bad game or a bad stretch of games. But our team in particular, again, Ryan O'Reilly, I think he's too hard on himself sometimes. But I think a lot of our team would agree with that. I think they really enjoy having Bruno as a coach, and it's kind of hurt them to let him down in the ways that they are out shooting, out chancing, and they just can't finish. So, I mean, they're just as frustrated as everyone else when they have those games. So I don't think it was a surprise to any of them. I think they probably agreed, like, this is on us. Bruno's put us in the right position. We just have to finish. And we've seen that the last 2 games. So I don't know if it goes back to what Barry Trotz said that maybe got them a little fired up. But either way, it seems to be clicking the last couple games.
Can you give us a player that Jets fans should be watching for tonight?
Let's see. Luke Evangelista just got his 100th career point last night, and I think he started out a little slow with everything that was going on with his contract in the beginning of the season. Yeah. And now he's really started to turn it on. That top line looked fantastic last night with Stamkos, Evangelista, and Ryan O'Reilly. I would say him or Ryan O'Reilly. The last 2 games since he's addressed the team, again, we don't know what he said, but he's been really great on both ends of the ice. So yeah, I would say Luke Evangelista or Ryan O'Reilly, specifically that top line for the Preds. They've tried everything up there with Philip Forsberg or Stamkos or O'Reilly, or different combinations of younger guys coming into the lineup. But last night they looked great. So it should be interesting, but definitely always a challenge going against the Jets.
Lindsay, appreciate your time. Your optimism is noted. And,
I try, guys. You know how it is. You can't be doom and gloom. It's a long season.
I can't even tell you guys are having a tough time right now. You know what I mean? It sounds like you're going to win the Stanley Cup this year. So
hey, fingers crossed. That would be nice. I want a ring.
We're learning lessons. Thanks so much, Lindsay.
Bye, guys. Have a good day.
You too.
See? It can happen.
Well, we're not negative.
I don't think we are. Well, no, I think we're doing pretty good. I'm very impressed with you guys, because I don't see. I mean, after the game on YouTube, when the post-game stuff's going on, there's some negativity in there, but it's fresh. The emotions are all there. But for the most part, from what I'm seeing in the chat, it seems pretty good today.
Yeah, I mean, people are just talking about soup.
Yeah.
People want to know really about
Sometimes
soup.
You have to talk about something else.
And sometimes, though, but also.
It's like a talk show. People
talking about a variety of different things, following up on Paul's comments about whether or not do you break up the top line or not. Most people saying no. Look, every team will go through struggles. It doesn't matter if Colorado Avalanche, who have been far and away the best team this season, lost last night to Minnesota, didn't get the extra point, but nobody's going 82-0. Question is, are you able to stem the tide? So yes, things have not gone well in these 4 games. But there has to be that breaking point where you're able to turn things around and start to build going forward. And if you are the Jets, you hope that it's going to be tonight. I think it's going to be interesting to see what Scott O'Neill does. Do the lines stay the same? Does he put in no Neil Pionk? He's still day-to-day. So unfortunately not going to be able to have him in the lineup. So
I would leave Elias Salomonsson in there for this whole trip.
So do you do anything with your third pairing?
Not right now. Well, because I think you still leave Sandberg and Salamanca together. But your third pairing, when Pion comes back, if he comes back on this trip, then of course you're going to slide Salamanca down. And
so if you put Cole Koepke in tonight, perhaps
fourth
some
line.
Speed, some fourth line. Who does he go in for?
Pure. That's a good question.
I know. I just put you on the spot with it. You don't have to answer.
I'll answer on Monday.
and say that you agreed or you didn't agree if the change was made. There's always, we love having you guys here. We love having you in the chat as well. We know that, look, it's frustrating times right now for it, but there are going to be good things on the horizon. You know that this is the Jets team that is too talented for it to stay. This is not a team that is in a rebuilding stage. This is not a team.
Perhaps Adam Lowry will have a little speech here today that will rile up the troops.
You never know. Who did we just hear that? Columbus had the big players only meeting and then things kind of turned around. Maybe you never know what's going to get things going for it, but hopefully the Jets do too. A reminder, there is a new runway that is out. It just debuted yesterday, so
it's really good, by the way.
Aptly titled Adversity, which has continued on.
We didn't know that this chapter was going to continue.
It was supposed to stop after. It was supposed to stop after episode 3.
The next episode will say still more adversity.
Dealing with adversity. But there is some great behind the scenes access in there, and always appreciate hearing from the players and their perspective on things as well as they take us through the season. There's the view from the booth. There's the prospect report as well.
Thomas Milic, ironically.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
It's just the way that you roll.
Right. I just saw an opportunity there and took it, I saw something. There it is. Thank you. It's a nice photo. I took these photos. I made this graphic. No, I didn't.
For it. No, you definitely did not.
I did not.
It would have been stick figures. Let's be honest. Cut and paste. Well,
we were just talking the other day.
Decoupage.
We have to learn how to make graphics eventually. So
for it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to start cutting and pasting. No one could collage like me back in the 90s. Oh.
Is that? Yeah, that was a big thing in the 90s, wasn't it?
Sure was.
Scrapbooking.
But decoupage as well. Oh, yeah.
See, I don't even know what that is.
Well, you can Google it later.
I was too busy on the Sega Genesis.
Ask your friends.
Winning games.
I
was a gamer.
We also see, just quickly before we wrap up, we also see people wanting to bring in. Oh, well, I'm very glad that you enjoyed it. People talking about bringing in more young players, some of that youth for it. There's obviously challenges with that. Also, there's roster limitations to it as well. So it is not as simple as just
you've made the commitment to a veteran roster.
Yeah,
you got to ride this out
for it. It'll turn around.
We'll see. Starting tonight.
There you go. We appreciate all of you joining us on this Saturday afternoon. So just a reminder that you can always join us on X, Facebook, on YouTube as well.
This is the last part of this.
Where's the other part? And if for some reason you aren't able to join us live and join in the conversation, which we always appreciate when you do, if you're not able to, though, you can listen to us on podcast form. So we will always get you as up to date as we can going into each and every game. But of course, there's no morning skate today with the Jets having played last night in Carolina. Eric Comrie will get the start tonight with Milic having played last night. And here's hoping that when we come to you on Monday, with the Jets playing in Buffalo, game 4 of the 5-game road trip.
Looking to win their second game in a row.
There you go. Let's hope so.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
You just Mr. Positive, huh? Feel positive going into it.
Positive.
Oh, right. It's going to be a positive Saturday.
It's going to be great. Monday's going to be super.
We hope you guys all have a great day. Thanks so much, everybody, for checking in.